We begin our journey on a single speck of dust, a tiny world forgotten by the wind, resting quietly within the ancient and silent shadows. Every kingdom starts here, in the minute details of the earth, where the smallest fragment of matter holds the memory of 1 billion forgotten years. A human touch connects us to the physical realm, a fleeting moment of contact before we leave the comfort of the soil and the known world. Stand still as the world begins to shrink beneath your feet, feeling the gravity of your home pull one last time before the great ascent. The landscape transforms into a canvas of colors, where mountains become ripples and rivers become silver threads woven into the fabric of the living earth. Humanity's greatest monuments fade into the mist, becoming nothing more than tiny sparks of light against the overwhelming vastness of the natural world below us. We break the veil of the atmosphere, rising through the clouds into the thinning air where the blue of the sky meets the eternal dark. Behold, the cradle of life, a lonely oasis of sapphire and white, floating precariously in the silent freezing depths of the great cosmic ocean's reach. The moon stands as a silent sentinel, a scarred witness to the ages, guarding the path to the mysteries that lie beyond our familiar planetary home. Everything you have ever known, every person you have ever loved, is now just a pale blue light fading into the distance behind your back. We fly past the rusted plains of the red planet, where ancient winds howl through empty canyons, dreaming of a past that has long since vanished. The great heart of our system beats with a terrifying energy, a furnace of nuclear fire that sustains all life while threatening to consume everything. Traversing the graveyard of unformed worlds, we move through a belt of stone and metal, the broken remnants of a history that never came to. The king of planets looms ahead, a giant of gas and storm, its colorful bands hiding secrets of gravity and pressure beyond our human comprehension. Inside the great red spot, a storm has raged for centuries, a crimson vortex large enough to swallow our entire world without leaving a single. The crown jewel of the solar system reveals its splendor, a disk of ice and light spinning in perfect harmony around a pale golden sphere. In the shadows of the rings, silence takes on a new meaning, a cold and beautiful isolation that defines the outer reaches of our suns. We drift past the ice giant, a world of turquoise glass tilted on its axis, spinning in a lonely orbit far from the sun's warmth. At the edge of the light, the blue depths of Neptune beckon, a frigid world of supersonic winds and eternal winter under a dying sun. The sun is now just one star among many, its family of planets shrinking into insignificance as we leave the shore of our celestial home. We enter the realm of the frozen ghosts, where comets wait for a gravitational nudge to begin their long, lonely journey toward the inner sun. A messenger of ice passes by, carrying the chemical signatures of the early universe into the dark, a relic of time frozen in the void. The light of our home has vanished. We are now in the great between, a vast ocean of nothingness where the silence is truly absolute. A new light dawns on the horizon, the collective glow of 1 billion suns calling us forward into the heart of the great galactic forest. Speed becomes an illusion as we accelerate through the stars, time and space bending around us as we chase the very edge of the universe. In the darkness, we find the orphans of the cosmos, planets without suns, wandering forever in a cold and lonely pilgrimage through the deep night. We navigate through the soot of stars, clouds of carbon and silicon that will one day become the seeds of new worlds and new lives. Ethereal blue light dances across the vacuum, the final breath of dying giants illuminating the path forward into the unknown reaches of the galaxy. There is no up or down, only a sphere of infinite light, a jewelry box of suns scattered across the dark velvet of the universe. The darkness begins to bleed color as the invisible gas of space is stirred into a glowing mist by the radiation of unseen stellar nurseries. We step into a garden of light, where the clouds are made of fire and the air is thick with the promise of creation's birth. Here, in the heart of the nebula, time slows down. Pillars of creation rise like cathedrals carved by the radiation of the stars themselves. Newborn stars scream into the void, their blue light tearing through the darkness, announcing the arrival of a new era in the galactic cycle. Watch as the dust begins to dance, swirling into disks of potential where future worlds are even now being forged in the heat of birth. The chemistry of the cosmos paints the sky in shades of emerald and gold, a celestial alchemy that transforms simple atoms into complex beauty. Binary suns perform a timeless waltz, locked in a gravity-bound embrace that will last for billions of years until the very end of time. The surface of a giant boils with unimaginable heat, a storm of light that outshines a million suns, casting long shadows across the nebula's heart. We leave a trail through the celestial mist, a ripple in the ocean of gas that will ripple for eternity across the vast galactic plains. The cradle of stars fades behind us, a glowing jewel of gas and fire that serves as a reminder of where all life truly begins. The scale of the universe begins to unfold as we pull back to see the galaxy as a single, living entity made of billion suns. Our Milky Way reveals its true form, a majestic whirlpool of light and shadow spinning slowly in the infinite dark of the intergalactic void. We rise above the disk of our home, seeing for the first time the true shape of the island we once thought was the entire. In the heart of the galaxy, the light is blinding, a city of stars where the nights are as bright as the days on Earth. Gravity begins to tear at the fabric of reality as we approach the throne of darkness, where light itself is bent into impossible, beautiful shapes. At the center of everything, there is only silence and shadows, a hole in the universe where time stops and all stories finally come to. The Milky Way shrinks into a tiny spark, lost among billions of other islands of light, each containing its own history, its own dreams. Our sister galaxy, Andromeda, looms large in the dark, a mirror of our own home, waiting for a cosmic collision billions of years away. The small ones float like satellites, forgotten clusters of stars that dance around the giants in a slow gravitational waltz across the empty intergalactic space. Our neighborhood expands to encompass the local group, a small family of galaxies huddled together against the encroaching emptiness of the deep, cold universe. Between the islands of light, lone stars wander in the dark, cast out into the abyss to burn alone until their fire finally goes out. The perspective shifts as we move faster than light, watching the individual galaxies fade into a larger structure that defines the very shape of. Clusters of galaxies burn like cosmic bonfires, thousands of worlds huddled together in the dark, held by the invisible hands of gravity and mysterious dark. The architecture of the universe is revealed, a vast web of light and dark matter that spans the entire observable cosmos in a single. We travel along the highways of the universe, threads of light where galaxies flow toward the great attractors at the center of the cosmic. We plunge into the great emptiness, a void so vast that light itself takes an eternity to cross its hollow, silent, and starless heart. The universe resembles a giant mind, a neural network of light where every galaxy is a synapse and every filament is a path of thought. At the grandest scale, the universe is a froth of light, a fragile and beautiful foam floating on the surface of an infinite dark sea. Time and distance lose their meaning as we fly through the skeleton of the cosmos, seeing the bones of reality laid bare before our eyes. Massive clusters of matter act as lenses, bending the light of the most distant galaxies into arcs of fire that circle the dark centers. The universe is stretching, pulling the light apart and turning the distant stars red, a sign that the space between us is growing forever. We are part of this network, a single grain of dust connected to the furthest star by the invisible threads of the great cosmic web. Individual lights begin to merge into a single, uniform glow as the details of the universe are lost in the haze of ancient, tired light. The curtain begins to fall, a red mist rising to hide the secrets of the past from our prying eyes as we reach the beginning. Blood-red light fills our vision, the dying echoes of the first stars struggling to reach us across the expanding gulf of 14 billion long years. We enter the Dark Ages, the time before the first fire was lit, when the universe was a cold and silent womb of hydrogen gas. A static hum fills the void, the first grain of an ancient picture, the oldest light in the universe finally appearing on the cosmic horizon. This is the echo of the beginning, a map of the heat left behind by the explosion that created everything we have ever known or seen. See the seeds of the future, tiny ripples in the heat that will one day grow into galaxies, stars, planets, and even you and I. The golden glow of the beginning surrounds us, a wall of light that marks the boundary of our knowledge and the limit of our sight. We break through the last barrier, moving beyond the light into the moment of creation itself, where all things were one and one was. In this moment, there is no time, no space, only the infinite potential of the beginning. A blinding white light of pure, unmanifested energy. The light recedes, leaving behind a silence more profound than any we have known, as the universe returns to the quiet of the infinite void. In the end, all things return to the silence of the void, where the first breath was taken and the last word will be spoken. From the nothingness, a single speck of dust returns, a reminder that even the smallest fragment of reality is born from the heart of the song. Everything began from nothing, and in the silence of the Hukong, we find the beginning and the end of our long, cosmic journey home.